We're live. Hello, everybody.
Say wanker then.
Hello.
Yeah, you can now.
Hello.
Oh,
How's it
okay,
going?
Right.
Hello.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another
Hello.
Friday on Infinite Monkey Tales. It's great to have you here, and it's great to be joined by a whole host of awesome people around the table today. I am doing production, and I'm the GM, keeper, producer, I think Cthulhu Dark officially calls them, but I kept with keeper because that's Cthulhu recognizable. Director in Cthulhu Dark in the world. Anyway, so there you go. McCramer, how's it going?
Appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be playing a game very soon. But first of all, before we do, we have some of the usual service arrangements to be going through. We're going to be talking a little bit about what's happening coming up on Infinite Monkey Tales in the next week or so. Angie.
In the next week or so, there's a couple of things that's happening. We had a bit of a staff meeting last week, and we had lots of ideas flying around all over the place. So coming up is obviously Cthulhu Dark this evening. I'm going to move the calendar over here, so obviously we'll do it. So Cthulhu Dark, followed by Mutants and Masterminds tomorrow. So the Mutants and Masterminds is getting back onto the story trail, and we are going to save Danny.
Yes.
So yes,
Danny.
yeah. So that's going to be really cool. And I see D&D, Croy's D&D campaign. What's the name for that now? The offline one?
The Shadowfell saga.
Shadowfell. That is full now. That's full currently at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Or the one on Saturday. Yeah, that's full.
No,
the one on Monday. The one on Monday, we're doing Ghost of Saltmarsh with a kind of extra IMT flavour, which means we're no longer doing the Ghost of Saltmarsh.
We started here.
We started doing the Ghost of Saltmarsh, so we might get back onto it. Who knows?
Yeah. And then Tuesday we are playing Agents of Concordia, which we on our Tuesday night role-playing club. We basically on a Tuesday night we're just online. We're in one of the channels. We just play. We play testing some games before we throw them on to the live stream later on when we find time in the calendar. So there's just a group of us. If you ever want to come in and just chill out with us, it's open for everybody. So if you want to come and watch what we're doing or hear what we're doing, just pop in. I think we did some characters. The game looks really interesting.
Yes.
Really interesting.
1960s Men in Black.
Yeah, it's like Men in Black. So.
But dealing with multiverses.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. Yeah. So that's what we're doing there. And then next Friday we're back with Cthulhu Dark, and then we kind of fall back into our usual routine of the D&D offline, online, Mutants, Carbon. Mark's throwing in at those dark places on the 20th of August, which is part 2 of the one we didn't finish of the part of the one shot, as usual. But when we go into September, there's a few little secrets that are happening that we can't really tell you about. One of them is on September the 10th. There's a secret happening.
Remember
A secret on September the 10th. Wow.
Yes. So yeah, there's a secret night happening on that one. And then on September the 17th, drum roll everybody. It will be our 1-year anniversary.
Woohoo!
Ow.
So yeah, so we are going to be dragging in people like the ones that have reappeared tonight, because everybody please note we have the one and only Charlotte back in the building.
Welcome back.
Yeah, yay, we're so pleased about that. Found one of the founder.
You gotta try not to drive him away.
So yeah, so it won't be exclusively just the original members and stuff like that. I think I am going to go into my old mode of entertainment, and I will be doing a schedule of events for that evening. So there will be guest visits. There's going to be a quiz from the Infinite.
Nice.
Sorry, yeah. So we're going to do some giveaways and things like that. But what we do want is I have some homework. I want people to go into our past streams and look for the bloopers and the things that made you laugh and stuff like that. If they're on YouTube, obviously you can't clip them, so timestamp them and tell us which one it is. That is your job. You have to go and find. Please do not make them all me, because I know I make the most mistakes and say the most stupid things.
But you're there all the time.
But there are a lot of other idiots that have.
But you're
been.
New idiot here.
Yeah. There's no idiots like you. Em.
So everybody's got some homework, so get them sent over to me. I will be nagging you about them, so get that in your diary, because we are going to do some giveaways and things like that. We're going to put something back from everything that you give us.
Excellent. So the huge amount happening. So for those of you who are relatively new to the channel, I think it would be fair to introduce Charlotte, but Charlotte is one of the founding members of IMT. So Charlotte, great to have you back. Welcome back. And for the first time round the table, we have Scone. Scone, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to and where people can find you when you're not on IMT?
Well, I am Skoon. I'm from the Netherlands, so I'm 1 hour ahead of the rest of these guys. You can find me on my Twitch channel mostly four times a week, Skoon1986. Yeah, you can, and I also have a YouTube channel with the same name. So
there you go. Does that work if I do that? Let's see. Is that a shout out? I'm not sure if that's you or not. Anyway,
1986.
1986. Look, I get that right. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Get the professionals to do it. Here's Minerva. So do jump over to there and give Skoon a follow. We put the link in a few times now, so you've no excuses. Yeah, right. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now?
Spelled my name with EO.
Is
I know, I went the wrong way.
There's a short Twitch name for somebody if they're looking for one that isn't apparently taken by anybody. So there you go. We're going to be playing an adventure in Cthulhu Dark tonight, and the levity that we're got upon us, I intend to fully remove from the situation entirely, purely because Cthulhu Dark is a game that relies upon suspense, role play, investigation. It's not a hero game. There is nothing that says the characters that we're about to meet will succeed. Almost the opposite, actually. The crushing realization that there is something much bigger than all of us out there might end up being too much. It's an exceptionally rules-light game. Hopefully you'll get the hang of the rules as we go. There are 3 die to roll. It's a D6 system as well, and we'll be seeing people go insane, or at least I hope so, if I do my job correctly.
Yay.
There is an element of fail in the game, but the only way you can fail a roll in this game is if a player or the keeper actively rolls against you. So even if you roll on D6 a 1, you will always get the minimal amount of information that is required to progress the story. However, if a player or the keeper thinks it is more interesting that you fail that roll, then there will be an opposed roll possible. And the other thing that's good about Cthulhu Dark is that you can re-roll too. You can re-roll. And we'll find out a little bit more about that as we go. So, without further ado, we shall get into tonight's adventure. Tonight's adventure, with music brought to us by Purple Planet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing a game called He Who Laughs Last, written by Dave Sokolowski. The story starts at a funeral. The story starts with you standing at the graveside. You have found your way to this funeral, and when you joined this solemn occasion, you were recognizing a few faces there. And as is natural when you are among a sea of people who you don't know, you gravitate towards those you do. And so you find yourself in a small group, all of you loosely affiliated with either one or two of each other, but all of you are joined together in the knowledge of your friend Becca, who has passed away. She has died, and you have found yourself at the funeral. It's a well-attended funeral. There are lots of people there. It's a beautiful day. We find ourselves in LA, in Los Angeles. You first of all saw the news on Facebook, of all places. Becca was dead. She killed herself. No one knows why, but the funeral is today, here in Los Angeles. And now you're standing here. You've come from near and a little bit further away to be here, but something is wrong. Something is out of place. It happened so fast, and no one has any answers. Most people don't really seem to be particularly interested in finding out. They just want to get back to their dull existence. And as the funeral service conducts its conclusion, the crowd scatters. Cars taking away those who are perhaps among the more rich and famous of Hollywood who might have attended. And as you watch the passers-by leaving, you're approached. You're approached by Becca's father. Now, Becca's father walks up to you, and he knows of each of you. You were all relatively good friends, but would you like to all please introduce yourself and your characters, rather, to everybody who's watching, and to each other too? And we'll start with Ange, who is playing Carrie Flanagan.
You're muted.
Hi. Carrie Flanagan, dog walker. Been friends with Becca for many a year. Grew up in the same neighbourhood. We used to hang out when we were youngsters, and then over time we used to go out for drinks and cocktails and things like that. But you know, as we got a little bit older and our careers took off, we saw not so much of each other as we wanted to do. But you know, when we did go out for cocktails and things like that, you know, we used to watch the world go by, talk about guys in our life, people watching. We like to people watch. So.
And one of the guys in Becca's life is played by some old pirate, Eddie McSwain.
Yeah, I'm playing Eddie McSwain. I'm currently out of work musician. You may remember me from such movies as Planet Ice and Ebb Tide. Who am I kidding? You don't remember me at all, and why would you? I've not had a steady job in about 18 months. I'm now working most evenings in a seedy bar downtown called the Honeymoon Suite.
Ah, okay. So an old flame. Standing next to Eddie is Dora Davis, Dee Dee, I believe, played by Minerva.
She goes by Dee Dee for most people that have known her for more than 10 minutes. She's a theatre actor at the moment. She met Becca through college, where they obviously studied to do everything to do with the film industry. That's why they got along. They'd spend the evenings like talking about it, going out drinking with others, from the film industry into getting networking and also like studying films and stuff like that. But since college, they've both gone their separate ways, but stayed in touch because there's always somebody that they know and able to get back. Like, there's always somebody that knows, oh, I know Becca or anything. So they've always been able to come back together and just carry on like nothing has ever changed.
The joy of good friends,
Yeah.
even when time passes. When you rejoin them, you still feel connected. Charla, you're playing Colin Wells, who I believe is the eldest of the group.
Yeah, he's an older gentleman, bit of a dad bod, but slightly better built. He's a carpenter by trade, woodworker. He basically met Becca through working on scenes and sets for some of the theatre projects and some of the movie projects she'd been working on. Obviously works between whatever work he can get really for his skills, from the small theatre set to some of the larger bits. And again, through that, he's met most of, or at least he's aware of most of these people. Not necessarily worked directly with them, some a bit closer. Obviously, he knew Becca quite well, working on the designs and such, and got to know her fairly well. You know, met some of her friends through that, and the others, again, aware of from them working on some of the same projects, but not really worked directly or interfaced directly with them.
Yeah. And it's the dad that approaches, spies you first of all, and approaches you. But we'll come back to that in just a second, because Scoon, you have a figure, Connor Hunt, who knows and has spent quite a bit of time with Becca. So yeah, what's Connor up to? What does he do, and how does he know Becca?
Yeah, Connor Hunt, a comedic actor. He became pretty famous pretty fast. But he's trying to do more action, so he tried different projects, and he met Becca because she was an intern at one of the movies he was in, and they just started talking. They hit it off pretty good, and they always kept in touch with each other after the internship was ended.
Yeah. Okay. So, as we are, the father, Becca's father, he approaches you. Colin, primarily, you're the one that he picks out from the group, but then he sees the rest of you and he nods his head, so those of you that he knows.
What's his name?
Mr. Kingsley. John Kingsley. And John, he walks up, and he's distraught. He just doesn't look himself. He doesn't look like somebody who even believes that his daughter is dead. He's just withdrawn. He's just at that. He's his wife, looking back over Susan. She's just standing there. She's being held by somebody. She's dressed in black, and she's staring into space. Almost looks like she's rocking on her feet. He walks up and says, it's a solemn, it's a day. I can't thank you enough for coming, but I must talk with you all. Becca's friends, please, don't leave. Will you hear me out? I would really like to talk to you. And he's so close to tears as he says this.
As he says that, I'll just walk up to him and kind of grab his hand and say, John, I'm so sorry for all of this, but absolutely whatever time you need, just...
Yeah, and he puts the cigarette out onto the grass and he stubs it. And you noticed during the funeral that he was basically chain smoking through the whole thing. He just didn't. He was lighting one cigarette after another after another. Colin, and he looks around. Eddie, how are you?
Kingsley, I'm sorry to hear about Becca.
I just can't believe it's true. Dora, Carrie, you're both here. And he looks at Connor. You. Apologies. I don't recognise you. My name's John. I'm Becca's father. What's your name? And he looks at Connor.
I'm Connor Hunt. I knew your daughter because she interned at one of my movies that I was in.
Connor, she told me that once you had a late night, or several late nights, but
oh yeah,
groups of you would. I thank you for taking her in. She talked so well, so kindly of her time on the set. It really made a big It made a big difference to her. I can't believe she's gone. Listen, I've got a feeling, and I haven't got any evidence or anything, but it's a feeling, and you know what that's like. In my gut, something's not right. The police, they were really unhelpful. They just told me that stuff like this, things like this happen. It's Hollywood. Young people die all the time, they said. This is what happens. Just the stress of life just becomes too much, and that's not Becca. She's not.
Right.
She's not like that. She wouldn't have done it. Things like this don't just happen.
It's not how I remember her, no.
Becca, she always spoke highly of you. She always spoke in her stories, and I remember so much. I know you're all clever. I know you're all able. I can't leave my wife just now. She tried to commit suicide. And he looks around, and the people, somebody looks up.
Who? Wife did? Or Becca?
My wife!
Becca succeeded.
Found her. You can dig into this. You can stop this. You can find the answer for us. I can't.
Mr. Kingsley, what do you think happened?
Just declared it to be over. Just like that. There was no investigation. When I asked questions, the police were not interested. They just seemed to write this off as another thing, another day in Hollywood. They had no interest in making this right.
Do you know who was looking into this at the police?
Here, take this. And he reaches out his hand, and in the hand is a phone.
I'll take the phone.
This is Becca's. This is Becca's phone. The passcode is 1203. It's my birthday. She. And he forces a smile.
What was the code again?
1203. I mean, yeah, you can. The phone works. You can try it, and it opens up into the screen.
I'll pass it on to one of the younger kids.
John, what did they say on a death certificate?
Suicide.
She would never do suicide.
She was too bright and too cheerful to do suicide.
She was a good kid.
She had so many ideas, so many goals she wanted to do.
Do you have a name of the police officer who's looking into this?
If you go to the local precinct, there was a different officer every time I phoned. There was nobody in charge of the case.
When was the last time you saw Becca, John?
About 3 days before it happened, which is about 2.5 weeks ago. That puts that date about 2.5 weeks ago.
3 days. Wait a minute. I'm getting my phone, trying to see when the last message of Becca was sent to me. I believe I had a message that day as well.
It'll be on her phone. You'll see it. See what else you can find. She would want you to look into this. She would want you to find out what had happened, and it's really the only way that we can close this. My wife will not rest until this is over and we know the truth and we know what happened.
We'll see what we can find.
At this point, I'm gonna step forward, like grab hold of his arm, squeeze as like a reassurance. I'll just turn to him and ask, I know it's hard, what you're going through, and just to go with what you're asking us, to be able to find out, like, what were the means of how she died? What makes it, aside from the suicide, what makes it, like, even stranger?
They said that she burned herself. That she set herself on fire.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I think we needed to know.
Yeah.
Then I'll squeeze his arm and...
As I see him getting agitated, I'll pull out a cigarette from my pocket and offer it to him.
Yeah, which he takes. His hands shaking.
Yep.
He takes a cigarette and he takes a draw and he looks like he kind of calms down as he exhales. You hear somebody quietly shout his name behind. I can give you these. These are the keys to Becca's apartment. And he fumbles in, takes out a keyring and hands them over to Dee Dee.
Thank you. We will look at what we can.
Look, I don't want this to put you out. I know how hard it is to make your way in this city. And he sort of fumbles into his inside pocket and pulls out his wallet, and there's a pile of $20 bills that he sort of shakes his hand as he holds them out to you. He's, please, look, I don't want you to be out. Just take this and use it for whatever you can.
I reach forward and push it back and say, I'm not taking your money. I want to do this.
She was our friend.
Thank you. here's my number. And he passes you a card, just a plain card with his number written onto it. It's not like a business card. And his phone goes off just as he's handing it over to you. And he hands it. So yeah, so you've got his phone number that you can contact him. Listen, thank you so much for coming, and I'm sorry if I've frightened you. It wasn't my intention. We need to know. We need to know what
That's
happened.
okay. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
And then again, you hear the call. That he's getting back, so he looks at each of you and nods his head and turns and heads back to his wife and the small entourage that's over there. And you can see them, and he just grabs his wife and hugs her, and the two of them are just crying into each other's shoulders.
I just turn around to the others and go, "What the fuck? Anyone want to go for a drink?"
Yeah. Well, as it happened, you're all staying at the same hotel. You're at the Fairmount Miramar Hotel and Bungalows in Wilshire Boulevard, Santa Monica. So I think on that, what we'll do is we'll cut back to you having a drink. You can either be in the bar or one of your rooms.
I think we'd go to the bar. I think in a discreet
Corner, yeah. booth.
corner
Find the
cubicle.
place out of the way.
It's and I'm just like, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. She would never do that. She would never kill herself. I know she. It's just there's one person that loved watching people and life, and she loved her job. She had. What does it?
She loved everything.
Edie, what's go through her phone. There's got to be messages as something. There's got to be something in there that's.
Even then, I've never known someone to do it like that.
No. That's wrong. Pills or.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah.
To burn? That's even more tragic.
LA grinds you down, man. But
She had us.
She was
There's other ways. But even if she did, she wouldn't have done it that way. Just seems weird. Something drove her to it if she did. And if she did, then what drove her to it?
I'll be checking for her phone, like her messages, even her photos.
Sure. Yeah. In fact, I think this is probably a good time to get some rolls in.
ooh,
Ooh,
Edie,
first rolls.
you're having a look at the phone. It's not difficult to open up somebody's phone, and when you've got the code, you can get access to all the things. Could I get just a D6, a normal human roll, unless you feel that you have any special skills that might lead you to be able to get a little bit deeper into the nature there.
I think the only skill would be like it's with the same age, so I kind of know what the technology is, but
Yeah.
just a normal human role, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, so you've got no professional skills with the technology, and yeah, you find a number of things as you look at that. You can also, if you wish, push yourself. You can choose to use insight, and at this point, it's worth explaining insight. This is your insanity building device. Every time, if you want to push yourself to get an extra dice, then you can roll this insight roll. Sometimes you might have to roll it, but if you roll and it's higher than your current level of your insanity, then I will make you do an insanity roll. If you get a 6 on that roll, you will have to roll an insanity roll, and if that roll is higher than your current level, you will take an extra point of insight and insanity. That's the thing that you do not want to get up to level 6, because that is where you go stark raving mad and you are out of the game and you will need to find a new character. So you have the option to use a second roll, and if you roll a 6, then we will do an insanity roll. But if you roll a 5, that's actually the best number you could get. Basically, you can be rolling up to 3 dice when you're doing some investigation. You can be doing the normal human, everyday dice, you can do your professional, and you can do your insight. But we'll see what happens as we go and try and get that. But, okay, so you roll a 2. You find some information. You see the contact list. You see hundreds of photos, but you don't look through them all. The last call that you see on the list is Brian Tobler. And you also look at texts between her and Brian. And the text that you read goes like this. For those of you at home, I will scroll down there. So, on the left is Becca's text, on the right is Brian Tobler.
Ooh. Hey,
Hopefully that's big enough so everybody can see it on chat as well.
So you said the left is Becca, the grey ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
This is a text between her and who?
Brian.
Brian?
Brian Tobler.
Would we know the name?
Has she mentioned him before?
One of you
Yeah, would we know him?
knows, but well, how about a roll? What would you like to roll to see how much information you know about Brian Tobler? And everybody who wants to do this roll can join in on that.
Give it a roll.
Yeah, I actually want to see if I know this Brian from somewhere.
Okay, so you're using your professional contacts here, aren't you? You're using your
I
professional
would say
experience. Yeah. So you could use 2 dice for that.
I would just be thinking about anything she spoke about when we met for drinking as well.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Do I need to just roll 2 on the sheet or what?
No, that's roll 2, so that's worked. You 2 3s. Yeah, Carrie, your professional expertise in terms of socializing with your customers, networking, knowing them, knowing how to get information out of people, knowing people's lives because you get into their houses. Is that right? That, yeah? So I think we could probably stretch to two dice on that one, especially because she's your friend, but your natural inquisitiveness and your social skills.
6 and a 3.
A 6 and a 3. Wow. Okay. We'll come back to that 6 in just a minute. Who else is going to try and know or search or recall for anything to do with Brian?
I'll have a. I mean, Eddie and Becca, they lived together for a while. he would know her quite well. So I think it'll just be a normal role for Eddie, though. I think.
Yeah, and given the timeline, I think you wouldn't know Brian because it's a relatively new job that she's only had for about 9 months or so. So I'm gonna say that this job was part of her dealing with the breakup.
After we'd split.
Yeah.
Would he be a name that I might know otherwise if I was to make a role, or is it just not worth me?
Well, you could pick out your phone and just press Google. You know, that's perfectly.
What, you know what? I never thought of that because I don't live in the 21st century. I'll do so.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yes. I think some of you have seen Brian on YouTube. I think some of you have seen Brian on television. I think when you searched online, Eddie, you found out about him. Generally, he seems to be a very funny guy. Very funny. All the reviews that you read say that he's a funny guy.
Like a stand-up comedian?
Yeah, he's a comedian, and he's doing very well. He's doing remarkably well. Is this as you're looking at this information about him, you read a few reviews, and there's a link to a YouTube video. So is anybody clicking this link? Anybody wanting to see how funny this guy is?
Yeah.
I bet he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Press
he
the
might be
link.
competition.
Yeah. So I think at this point, maybe everybody but Colin. I think
Everyone but
everybody.
Colin.
Everybody
This
but
is
Colin.
YouTube, Colin.
Hey,
Could you
I
all
was here
please,
when that was founded.
could you all please make an insanity check as you watch this YouTube video, please? I would like you all
We
to
all
make
do?
your first insanity roll, your first insight, your first little sight of what this might be about.
Up a point.
Low is good, right?
Yes, you want one. One is the only way you can pass.
Then I am happy.
Oh,
Okay.
I got a 2.
Right. So everybody who has 1 or over, could you please now add another point onto your insight track?
So I have to put a 1 in my inside track.
Well, you start with 1, so you start at 1. So if everybody who
Oh,
failed, you should now be at 2.
Yeah, you should be okay, Scoon.
You're
So
fine.
I rolled a 2, so I had 1, yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
the rest
No,
of
So
us
you have already have
Wow, that's a
standardly had
hard thing to
one,
reach.
Scoon is on 1, the rest of us on 2.
And and Colin's on 1 as well.
It's not
'cause
that funny.
Oh, Colin pass as well.
Colin wasn't watching.
Colin wasn't watching that.
Ah, of course. I did.
Um,
I said, look, this is YouTube, Colin.
He's still trying to get it up on his Nokia 5310. Can't see this.
How's your internet connection on that thing?
It's great. I can play Snake.
But well, I just
Adam,
saw
can
this
I-
video. He's not that funny.
Now, hang on. Let me describe what happens to you guys as you start to watch this video on
Okay.
YouTube. It starts off with
Okay.
some fairly random jokes. It's not that funny. He talks about hedgehogs and sharing hedges and all the kind of favourite jokes that we like, and you kind of and then something happens, and you're not sure what it is. You blank out. You don't know that you're doing it. You just suddenly, 30 seconds, a minute after, as you're staring transfixed at your phones,
What do I see?
they're just staring at their phones like the usual bunch of young people that sit there staring at their phones. But if you would like
We're
to
all
roll, if you would like to roll insight to find out what they see, then you certainly could do a human check and push it. But by the by, just yeah, you can look at them. But that's
Yeah,
what
I'm
you
not
see.
trying to see what they're seeing. I'm just if they're
Their
zoning
faces.
out,
Yeah,
seconds,
yeah.
What am I seeing from them?
Give me a roll. Give me a single d6 for that one, unless you want to push it with your insight.
One's enough, I think.
Yeah, they just look like kids when they look at their phones. They're just
They're
staring into it.
absorbed into their phones.
Guys, when you come back, you feel drained. You feel sad. You feel just like something's happened to you and you don't know why and you don't know what. You feel violated. You're just unpleasant. You put your phones down.
I just put the phone down and put my head in my hands for a minute just to try and make sense of why I feel like that after watching something supposedly funny.
That wasn't funny.
No, I don't even know what
Muted.
it was.
That was totally not funny. I know funny.
I'm just confused. This guy's supposed to be a comedian. You guys look well.
I did more funny jokes in my movies.
I only remember one joke, and then I just feel awful now.
Oh, yeah, there was only that one joke about the hedgehog.
He did more jokes.
Did he?
But they were all just bad.
No, he didn't. He just did one.
I'll just be looking at Carrie just like, did he? Have we missed something?
Just heard one.
You look back at Becca's phone. Dee Dee, you look down the name of list the people on the phone. There's Brian Tobler, Janie Lassiter, Susan Ortega, and Ralph Aries.
Are they just in the contact list or like most recently called?
Yeah, aside from the people that have contacted her around the table, and also the people who are family, mum, dad, sis, those are the names that you don't recognise. Or, well, you might recognise them, but they are obviously not family or friends.
There's no mention of me in the messages, because...
Yeah, your message is there as well, but
tough, man.
yeah. Your messages are there as well. And Carrie's as well, and Dee's as well.
These messages between her and Brian, what's the date they were on?
It's about 2 weeks ago. Dead on 2 weeks.
Is that the same day that she passed?
Yep.
So these are the last messages that she received. Are they just general messages like "Hi, how you doing? Coffee?" or?
Yeah. Otherwise, all the messages are just regular. I'll catch you in a bit. I'll be back.
What's the time of that last one? Is there a rough time?
Yeah, it's quite late in the day. The timestamp on it would be about 10 p.m.
Is it the day she died?
Yeah.
We know when her body was found.
In her flat.
When?
When?
After or
Yeah,
So she burned herself to death in her flat.
Yeah.
We have the keys for.
that you have keys for. Yep.
I get my phone out and do a quick Google for any news reports or media reports on the circumstances of her death to see if there's anything that pings up.
Well known enough to appear in.
There's a small obituary in one of the local newspapers, but that's it. There's nothing more that you find under her name at all. There's nothing.
Once we've kind of got over the blackout of watching the video, if we figured out that it was like 2 weeks ago, I want to try and find out this, find anything on this Letterman program. I'm assuming it's
Brian. Oh yeah, did any of us succeed on the roll on Brian? I did.
We all did it.
Ah,
Yeah.
no, you got a 6.
Yeah.
And the roll on Brian I had. I had 2 3s, so
Yeah.
6 also in total.
Yeah,
Don't know if it's bad
no,
then as well.
they don't add up. It's just it's
Keep
just
the
2 of them.
highest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take the highest.
Get 2 chances.
Oh, like that. Okay.
You know about some of the things maybe that Becca told you about Brian. You recall things. You recall how at one point Brian was failing. His career was failing. Just before he hired Becca, he had been on his way down. But a few months before he hired Becca, his career started to rise. He hired Becca initially for one of the things that she did was look after his Facebook page, and it just the traffic on that. And you remember Becca telling you that it was just getting busier and busier all the time. He appeared on the Tonight Show just before he hired Becca, and something doesn't add up when you look into this. Something wrong is, but people don't just become famous. They have to know people in this city. They have to know people. They have to know the right people. They have to know people who can grease the chain, make it smooth running for them. They can't just suddenly elevate themselves into stardom like that. That's not possible.
I turn to all the others and say, she actually got on with Brian. She was really friendly with him. She never had a problem with him, and all the times that
Friendly.
not that way, they just got on really well. He had girlfriends that she didn't get on quite so well with. There's a current one and an ex that she used to moan about. They took a disliking, but maybe that they took a disliking because she got on so well with him. Sometimes you get that, don't you? But that text seems a little bit agitated.
It's a bit more intense.
Yeah, she was friends with him. The only time she ever moaned was about his girlfriends and how awful they were. But that is like, why is she following him?
That doesn't seem like Becca.
A Mexican and the police. She's going to the police.
And what's that Home Depot every time?
Check her call history. Did she call the police on that day? Look at Dee Dee to see if Dee Dee can see recent calls out.
I don't think she did. Unless she visited them in person.
The last call incoming an outgoing was the last call outgoing was what's the Brian? The last call on the phone was from Ryan on the day of her death.
Was it
Last call.
after
So
text?
there's no call to register for a police call.
There's nothing there that
Excuse me.
suggests that she phoned the police.
Okay.
Was the
What-
call
She
to
called her back.
was the call to Brian around the time of these texts,
Um,
or from Brian?
from Brian. The last call from Brian was just after the texts.
Okay, so he did call her.
After she mentioned the police.
How long was the phone call?
Very short.
Oh, they spoke. It was picked up. It wasn't a missed call. So he was the last person to speak to her then.
Yeah.
So something about
Maybe we should. Maybe we could call him back.
well, something about this freaked her out. Whether it's a Mexican Home Depot or this house in the hills. Those 3 bits of information somehow were important enough to pull him off whatever he was doing to get him to call her. And enough for her to threaten to go to the police.
Did she take any photos? What were the last photographs? She said she followed him. Maybe she took some photos.
Look through the thousands of photos.
Yeah.
Just the last few, I guess.
Yeah, hundreds of photos, social events, and some of you guys are in those photos. As you flick through, the most... You take a bit of time doing this. You take a bit of time flicking through, and you recognise some of the scenes as you do, and you smile and think about those times. But what seems to be most out of place to you as you flick through all the hundreds of photographs is that there is a photo of a photo. It's a photo that's... The photo within the photo was taken from a distance at dusk. It looks like a large ranch-style house perched on a hilltop. And it looks like it's glowing or is on fire. It gives you the chills when you look at it. The date on the photograph is 3 months before Becca's death.
Hmm.
It looked like an expensive bag.
It's difficult to make it out at such a distance. If you want to make a roll of some description to look at the photograph, differently or put it through anything, then you can. If you want to try and enhance its contrast or any of that kind of stuff. And
So the photo she took is from a distance of the photograph of the house. Is it the photograph of the house from a distance?
she's taken a photograph of the photograph, but that photograph itself is at a distance. But even the photograph of a photograph doesn't look very good. Yeah, let me see if I can show you.
Maybe that's the house that she.
I would
Yeah.
think so. I mean, she's
Is
got
that
the
house on
photo.
the hill?
It looks like it, but it's glowing like some fire. So why would it? I don't imagine it still being there. Strange.
Let me,
I just see photos and I think I'll take out my phone and watch if I can find something on her Instagram. Maybe find some photos that are on the phone that are posted with some text under it or reactions.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just drag a picture to show you this photograph on the phone. That you're seeing once it uploads. So you do a little bit of digging on that. Could I get a roll, just a normal, a d6 from you, please?
I don't need to roll.
Could you roll a d6? Just because you're investigating there. You get 6. Excellent. So, this is a photograph of the photograph that you find. That's in a frame. It's just a sketch. The house itself is a lot more grand than that. It's a beautiful looking house, very modern, with a large garage, and obviously in some ground. There's quite a lot of space around it, looking trees and stuff.
Does it look in a good state, or is it run down?
No, it's immaculate. It's actually a beautiful. It's made. You can't tell from this sketch, but it's made from glass. It's made from like brushed aluminium and steel and black concrete and yeah. So it's
looks expensive.
I don't think that would be Brian's house if he wasn't very successful. Unless he would have got that money quickly. Do you think?
He must have been doing very well for himself.
In such a short time.
I've just had a thought.
I don't even have that kind of house.
Mm.
And I made pretty lot of money with my movies.
Edie, pull up her maps. See that she's what her last known directions for anywhere was, or searches.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
okay. Let me see. Yes, it's a house. It's a house in Beverly Hills. Let me just give you the location of that. Yeah, so you've got a house, which is up there, in there, and I'll give you the address, which is here.
Okay.
And it's actually the former house of Groucho Marx, believe it or not.
He was a funny guy.
Who?
And when you do your Google searches on that address, I'll give you the real picture.
Ooh. Pretty.
Wow.
That's not the
I really
same
need-
house of the picture, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be.
It is supposed to be.
I really need to talk to my agent. I want this house.
Yeah, and as you're looking around, you do realise that Brian Topler's success. You see him mentioned. He's done big comedy festivals. He's done big television shows, and in the past year or so, he's really made a name for himself, big time. And as you're looking around, as you're searching for all this information, you find out that he has done very well indeed, and he has actually been quite successful. And this is what Carrie finds difficult to really put together. Carrie's hearing you talking about all these things that Brian's done, and she's just something's eating away there, Carrie, at the back of your head. It just gnaws at you from what the stories that Becca's told you, and compared to what you're hearing being said now. And you knew some of the stuff. Becca told you some things, but she never really told you as much as that. She never really went into too much detail about what he was doing, and you never asked either too much. But he has done well for himself.
He was he was just her boss, and they were friends, and everybody moans about their boss to a certain extent, but she never did. His girlfriend she moaned about. They were friends. That text I find obviously disturbing. And she's got a picture of his house.
Yeah, so beautiful glass windows, floor to ceiling. This kind of everything that just looks really swish. You can't see it all from here, but yeah, this is the real
Brian
place.
have a?
I mean, he made it famous quick, and then he got that house quick.
Does Brian have a web page?
Yeah, he's got a
Oh,
Facebook.
do we know his last name?
Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblr. Does he have like a listing of his itinerary, like where he's doing shows?
Yeah, he's doing a
Brian
show.
Tumblr.
He's doing a show just now over in New York.
So he's not in LA at the moment.
No.
I'm just going to do a quick search on YouTube to see if I can find some of his of other sketches that he did. See if they are also as bad as the one we saw already.
Yeah, okay. Give me a roll. If you feel you've got any professional expertise to throw into that, maybe you know some casting websites that you might be able to have a look at some of his stuff, or what.
Yeah, I would say I would.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Yeah, that's unreasonable given your nature of your work. You're very interested in these things. You know where to look for
Yeah,
talent.
I'm a comedic actor, so
Yeah, you compare yourself to others, and so yeah, go for it. So give me 2d6 there. Okay, Connor.
wow.
He doesn't exist on any of the sites that you think beyond the year or so. You can find only things about him that are successful. You can only find amazing stories. You can only find amazing reports, critical reviews. All of these places that you look, he is absolutely the pinnacle of success. And when you look at some of the things he's done, you get quite jealous. You actually start to feel, what's he doing that gets him all this? And you get quite annoyed about this. You start to feel a bit frustrated, and your own desire for success kind of ignites inside you when you watch this person be as clearly well received and successful as he is. But looking back, there's nothing. Looking back beyond that point, you can't find anything. Not on YouTube, not on Insta, not Twitter, Reddit. There's just nothing.
He just appeared. You could say it's like he just suddenly was there.
On the stage, and with your knowledge, you know that isn't unheard of, because everybody has to come from somewhere, and when you've made it big, when you've become that star, you don't want people dredging up your past. You don't want people comparing. But you know that agents are able to do that kind of stuff. A good agent makes or breaks the career of a Hollywood star.
Does it list his agent on his webpage?
Yes.
Was it now that you get a insight every time you roll a 6, or?
No, only if you use your insight.
Yeah,
Okay.
only if you use your insight. Yeah. Yeah.
Add your insight to make them.
Sometimes
Well-
the things that you find with the 6 might trigger an insanity roll, but at this point you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, his agent is listed as Ralph Aris,
Ralph.
Aris. Ralph
Allison.
Ayres.
Aries.
Aris. Yeah,
Aries.
Aris.
So that's the same person who's on her phone.
Wait.
That's right. Yep. And that is.
I mean,
Oh,
Brian.
that's, yeah, that's
It would make
Brian's
sense that
agent.
he
that was
he
one of the
right, because he's
Yeah.
one of the names in the phone. Yeah.
it would make sense.
Could you
But,
see?
but still, I think it's weird that he just kind of appeared. Even though I know some people get famous really fast. I mean, for me, it was also a roller coaster. But still, some things are known of the past, and there's literally nothing of this guy. Nothing.
There must be a college Amdram or a school singing contest. There's
Exactly.
always something, a prom picture.
A comedy contest or something.
Maybe he changed his name. Started to make it big. Chose a more Hollywood name. See that a lot.
Yeah, but even then, you don't just walk into Hollywood and become famous overnight.
No.
There's got to be.
Just thinking of it. Obviously, we can see he's in New York now, from his tour schedule or whatever. Can we see where he was 2 weeks ago?
Preparing for Letterman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in another city in America that's on the East Coast.
I
Who's
think
one?
Letterman Studios, New York, right? So
There you go.
he was probably still in New York.
He was in New York.
I don't know that for
Excellent.
certain. I'm just guessing.
Let's see.
Not nearby then, not local.
No, because it would have been Jimmy Kimmel. I've no idea if that's true either.
You made it sound true, so that
We believe
I'm
you
sure.
I believe you. I completely. Yeah.
completely. So yeah,
Wow.
he's
Maybe he was on Saturday Night Live.
While we're all searching for stuff on the internet, I actually want to try and find this Letterman to bring up to see how he is acting. Because obviously there was a threat there, and then she called, they had a conversation on the phone, and then, 5 hours later or whatever, he was on camera.
yeah. I am going to say that it's possible, I guess, to find reruns of Letterman in America. I have no idea, but let's just say it is.
Yeah, you have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, but normally they're pretty much just straight onto YouTube.
There you go. So yeah, if you do the thing, you give Google some money, and you get access to that, and you watch them on the show, and yeah, you definitely have to go into YouTube and click the subscribe button of the awesome people that are on there, and you get that. You pay a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's Patreon or something. Anyway, by the by, you get in and you watch the show, and he's there doing his interview. He's talking to Letterman, and he's telling a few. He's all right. He's a nice enough guy. He seems friendly, approachable. He's chatting about what it's like to live in LA and about the scene and about what it's like for being a comedian and what he hopes to do next. And then he makes a joke about wanting to work with. I don't know, Robin Williams, but then he says something funny about him being dead. I don't know. It's like that sort of thing, and he's quite a character
Too
on
soon,
screen.
man.
He's not hilarious, but you've seen worse.
But he's fairly calm and collected and together, and
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
It looks-
just what I wanted to check.
Could I look up if I know what agency Ralph Aries is from?
Easy done. He is from an agency which is on a page that I'm not yet looking at, but I will find it very soon. But yes, it's something like Aries Industries. Aries Entertainment. Aries Entertainment. In Hollywood.
Heard of him before, Mr. Hunt?
I'm just going to try and call my own agent, to see if he knows about this agency.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I could call mine.
Yeah, that sounds like a professional a professional role. Let's get to die on that for both of you. Calling your agents.
Yeah, I'm not sure if at that point I kind of detach myself from the group and go to a quiet corner.
Okay.
And I'm just rolling one die.
Well, we both have the same.
You both, whoever you call, or not, as the case may be, a bit of extra furtive Googling, perhaps. You find the name Rafe. Rafe Aries is known in the industry. He has had a string of successful clients. He has a rather plush set of offices out in Hollywood somewhere, along Van Owen Street somewhere there. Yeah, he's known. People know him, and maybe you're.
He's got a reasonable reputation, is it, or is he?
Yeah, he's very successful. Yeah, I mean, it's not one. It's not like.
Is he known for being Brian Tobler's agent? Is that the only thing he's known for?
No. I mean, he has had other successes. He has brought other comedians to success in the past. He has. Yeah, he's got a string of successes. Not just Brian.
Are any of them of a similar, I guess, surprising trajectory as Brian's is, or is it just?
Yeah.
Any of them, and any others not funny.
Yeah, I mean, with the rolls of a 2, I don't think you're going to get a list of names that he's worked with, but you get the gist that he's known and he has had other people. But then they go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to. Somebody's phoning. It's great to hear from you. It's great to hear from you, Connor. Look, we must do lunch sometime."
You still owe me money, boy.
Yeah, I need a new project, so we need to come in contact. Yeah.
Click.
Yep.
I think Eddie's agent is just a whole string of excuses once again.
Just voicemail.
Do you tell that to Connor?
Absolutely not.
Oh. Otherwise, let me introduce you to my agent. Maybe he can help you.
I can't afford your agent.
Do we? But did I find the address of his office?
With a bit of googling, no problem. You find that it's in a kind of industrial-ish warehouse area. The address is 11540 Hart Street.
Okay.
We have Becca's key, so I am assuming her apartment is nearby or within the locale, right?
Yeah.
Well, if he is in New York at the moment, maybe we should try and find his agent. Maybe he can tell us something.
What time of day is
It's
it?
getting late, man.
Yeah, we could do that in the morning.
See, what I don't get is
Go to-
why her going to what seems to be a very, very flush house is a problem for this guy.
I don't know. Let's take the whole.
I went to the house, and then that's a big enough reason to force him to call her.
Maybe if we go to an apartment and search her apartment.
I think we need to check out her place. We need to find out from the police what they have investigated, if anything.
Well,
and check out
would we
the
be allowed to go in if she actually did put herself on fire? Would the apartment also not be?
No, because
fire
they've closed the investigation down. That means it's not a crime scene anymore.
Yeah, the landlord
Keys.
might have
No,
just locked it.
but it could be a hazard.
Well,
We
we'll
can
soon
check
find
that.
out when we get there.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And we'll sneak in anyway because we want to find out.
Yes, because we can be sneaky.
Ooh,
We've got keys. We don't need to sneak.
Yeah,
We
'cause
got
Well, then
Shimmy.
it's sneaking in without leaving evidence.
All right then. So, is that the plan? Are you going to head over to Becca's apartment?
Yes.
I think so.
Good call.
what time of day is it?
With all the time that you've spent looking and searching and talking and chatting, I would say that it's probably maybe you've had an evening meal while you've been doing that and chatting away, and it's getting closer to like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going
In-
somewhere new in a Cthulhu game. It's dark and it's raining.
Yay!
Yeah, sounds like a perfect idea.
We're going no matter what.
Could go wrong. Oh, famous
We're
last
going
word.
as a group. That counts. We're not splitting up.
Yep.
Please.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe some of us should go and check with the police, while some of us check the apartment.
So you head up to the Silver Lake district, where is that's Becca's apartment. Easy enough to find, and easy enough to walk up to and get yourself into the space. Yeah, it's a one-bedroomed apartment. It's quite trendy in Silver Lake, or so I'm told. The building itself is made from, as we've talked about, this kind of glass. This is like uber glass. This isn't just like slightly modern. This is like uber modern glass and
Glass-fronted.
brushed
Yeah.
steel and 8 apartments
Yeah.
in total. You can see that they haven't bothered to take all of the police tape off. There's still some hanging down either side, but it's just.
Before we actually go up to the apartment, is there like mailboxes for her downstairs?
Yeah, like pigeonholes at the front. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you walk in through the front door and you go into the lobby area. Yeah,
See if there's a pigeonhole, and if so, if one of the keys that we have will fit that. So
Yeah,
if there's
it-
any mail waiting for her.
easy done. And you open up the box, and there's a bunch of stuff there. Looks mostly like junk mail, but yeah, you grab it.
Yeah, I'll grab it and have it filter through.
Did Becca drive?
No one drives in LA.
I know, daft question, but I mean, she got to her house
No
on
one
hill.
walks in LA.
No, she didn't. She could drive, but she didn't have a car.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, let's be honest. Does anybody here drive?
Who'd want to in this traffic?
Depends
Yeah, I
how
mean,
many days.
Chances are quite. Some of you might have learned, but whether you have cars or not. But anyway, let's.
Head up to the apartment.
But she's not got a car to search, basically.
Yep. There's no garage in this block. So you walk up.
Okay.
You walk up the stairs to the top floor. And you see the tape that's kind of hanging off. Just one bit on. It's another bit on the floor. It's not. It's just lazy. It just looks lazy. But you
So
try
not
to.
connected, but still hanging.
Yeah, it's been and it's just hanging on the side there, and there's obviously been a sticker on the door at some point that's been kind of peeled off, and there's a little bit of a sticker left on the corner. It just looks like they've just been sloppy at finishing the job.
I'm just gonna look through the entire house, see if I find any fire damage.
Yeah. Who's got the keys and who's opening the door?
I think Colin had the keys, didn't? Or no, Dee Dee. had the
Dee Dee
keys.
had the keys, I think.
I had the keys, so
Yeah.
I'll open the door.
The door opens into the living room, and the smell that all of you take in as you're standing in the corridor outside this door. It smells absolutely horrendous. It smells of burnt death. It smells of absolute festering and burning and charcoal and scorched. It is horrible. It gets right into the back of your nose and it summons up images of that. immediately comes to your mind as you walk in. This is where Becca died. This is the terrible place that it happened. This isn't just walking into a movie set. This is real. And all of you, I would like you to make an insanity roll, please, because you're seeing this place where your friend has passed away. This is absolutely absolutely traumatic.
Oh my god!
My God, 2 6, 2 people,
3 sixes.
Three.
I rolled a 5.
You all get another point
Oh yeah, 3 6. Oh my God.
Yay.
on your track.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
As I walk in, I'm overcome with emotion, and I'm sort of like step back, almost as if I don't want to walk into the room. And I'm fighting back the tears and
Yeah,
reality of it.
absolutely. And
Burling
right
at the
in,
front door.
yeah, guts puking
Yep.
down the stair, lovely onto the next flight of stairs below. It is horrendous, and there's a huge mark in the middle of the floor, just in the sitting room. There's a scorch mark there.
Is it just one solid black mark, or
They're... Yeah. Give me everybody who's able to pull themselves together sufficiently. Please make me a roll as you're trying to make sense of this. Anybody
Ooh,
who's
got a 1.
overcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and.
which roll is that? Just a
That's a regular.
It's a 1 bad mark.
In this instance, you want that when you're making an insight check. But when you're trying to investigate or find something higher is better.
Oh no, failed completely. I'm still sobbing a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm standing at the door as well. I'm kind of absent-mindedly
A 5.
picking on
Okay.
this police tape, trying to tear it down, and screwing it up, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get into a bit like work mode, just kind of trying to shut it off and just trying to think this as a scene and checking the furniture and the floor and thinking of it as a build and just trying to detach myself a little bit from obviously the
Dee
nature of it.
Yes.
Eddie, was that your 6 that you rolled? No, that was your earlier one. So there's only 2 of you that I need to get timestamps on. Hang on a second. In my rolls.
My 5 was for the insanity roll. My 2 was for the investigation.
Got you. Right.
my
so
5 was also investigation.
Right. So the only 2 rolls for that investigation.
Yeah.
Apologies. The rest of you are not checking. Right. You have a look through this place. Connor, you're the one that puts it together. This is not right. This is wrong. This has a large 4-foot diameter black scorch mark, and the carpet fibres in the middle are burnt all the way to wood in the centre. But it gradually dissipates as it gets further out. You try and get that horrible thought of what happened here out of your head, and a sense of clarity arrives. You separate the smells, and you just lean down a little bit closer towards the floor, and you smell gasoline. Somebody's poured. There's been petrol here.
I do smell gasoline.
You look up as you kind of recoil from the smell, and you see that as you look up, there's soot marks above that on the ceiling as well. Otherwise, everybody notices that walks in that the floor is wet. Even still, there's dampness. There's dampness in the floor where you assume the sprinklers would have gone off.
Is it like a standalone apartment, or is there any other like neighbours, or like like in America you have an apartment and there's like
there's
one
8 apartments
doors?
in total that you walk past on the way up to Becca's apartment, which was number 8.
Is this on its own floor?
No, there's one opposite,
Right.
but quite a ways opposite. It's not too shabby a place.
Do you notice anybody about? I'm going to try and gain my composure a bit.
Yeah, you look out one of the lobby windows out, towards the trees, and you see that there are lights on in the other apartments.
I kind of like sort of grab Eddie and sort of like step in and shut the door, just so we don't bring any attention. Ourselves. Or. She got a computer or anything around?
You are. I'm going to have to retcon just a little bit. You find car keys because she, as you're searching through, you find a bowl. Then there's car keys there.
Okay.
But yeah. So you're going to see the neighbours?
No, I was wondering. I will do, but not right now. I just sort of wanted to look around. I wanted to check that, so I will go and knock on the neighbour's door in a minute. But I sort of I didn't want to bring too much of attention to myself, so I've came in and shut the door so we're inside. And then I just sort of asked out, is there a laptop or a computer about?
Yeah. So you look for that, and you'll have a look around, and you actually find somewhere on the counter where there absolutely should be, because there's a mouse cable, and there's a power cable, and there's a monitor, but there's no laptop. There's no desktop. There's no laptop. But given the position of the mouse, and given the type of keyboard it is, you assume that there's no laptop there.
Oh, we know she's got a car. Her computer's missing. That's a bit strange. Maybe it's in her car.
Could be.
Did you see a garage somewhere?
Would I know where she usually parked it? Because I've seen her before.
Yeah, around the back. There's a parking lot, let's say, in the back part of the street.
Did Eddie live in this place with her, or was it somewhere? Did you ever live with her, Eddie, or just?
Not in this place.
2 upmarket.
You know what kind of car she had? She still has that white car, or?
As far as I know, yeah.
Well, maybe we could find it, see if it's also still there.
I throw the keys at Eddie and go, Eddie, do you want to check her car out? He's still picking the tape at the door.
You dragged him in.
Yeah.
He's kind of standing in the kitchen. He's looking at the fridge to see if there are any photos that are hung up.
With yourself, aren't you?
Just a fridge, empty fridge.
Yeah.
Playing with the fridge magnets or what? like those I have. Tetris ones.
Smudge block.
Yeah, you have a look at that. What kind of skill would you be using to look at that? I mean, you know wood very well, I guess, and you know what can happen to wood when it goes wrong, and you're aware of being able to build sets and the kind of stuff that gets put into there.
Someone who's built and decorated sets, as well as just scene dressing and that that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you've worked with a lot of different materials. You've done lots of things to make things look like there's something they're not. Give me a human roll and give me a professional roll as well. And if you want to push it with insight, then you can add that in too. Now, I should also point out, guys, as well, that if you do fail a roll and you wish to re-roll it, you are at liberty to re-roll at any point. But if you didn't already, then you would have to add your insight at that point, even if you didn't choose to. You'd have to add it as part of a re-roll. And you can re-roll as many times as you want to, but if you're forced to take an insanity check, you will have to take multiple insanity checks with each re-roll. So, yeah. But that is always a possibility. So please do bear that in mind as well. Oh yeah, okay. Colin, you look at this. You're looking at these marks initially. It looks similar to other fire marks that you've seen. But when you look really closely, because you rolled a 6, when you look really, really closely at this, and you actually go down onto your knees, and you begin to, the lights turned round and you shine right on it. You see some sort of drawing on the floor that's been smudged past the point of detail. And it looks, as you're trying to ascertain what it is, it looks like the kind of pencils that a joiner might use, like a thick pencil, thick graphite that would just mark up the wood before you're about to cut it. You take this stuff and it, yeah, it's some sort of graphite composition, but that's because you rolled a 6. You get something in your head, something just appears to you, an idea. Maybe it's a film that you saw previously, maybe it's a thing that you did, something that you worked on a movie. You try and push it down. It's a crazy thought. No, it can't be. It couldn't possibly be that. I'd like you to make an insanity roll, please, as you fight with yourself to try to come to terms with what you're seeing as you trace your fingers around.
Needed a 1.
You just don't know. This is something that people only ever did in the movies. This is only things that you've been asked to make. You didn't know they were real. You didn't know that they would be used next to fire. You didn't know that they could be used like this. The sudden realization that all those times that you were working on these things that you've been put together, that they could be related somehow to death, to fire, to destruction. With everything else that's gone on, with everything else that's happened, the death, the funeral, the smell, the stench that comes racing back into your head, you just know that this flame, this scorch marks, these fire, this whatever it was that was drawn on here, it's just too close together. It's too much of a coincidence, and your brain just pieces this together, and it races and races and races, and yeah, you're stunned as you're on the floor. And you're tracing your finger along this track of the graphite as best you can within the smudge, and you're just stunned.
I'm just constantly tracing it, and just staring at this thing in horror, like, yeah. How is this a real thing? How is this here? Yeah.
He's not anywhere near the actual urn. I say he's not like looking at the.
I'm off to the side here.
Yeah. Him. A little bit strange.
Oh, I've probably got my back to him.
Strangeness in this game?
Is he like sort of like almost like he's sort of like really quiet?
Yeah.
So I eventually turn around and maybe look at him.
Yeah, and he's down on his knees and he's tracing this down on the floor, and he's kind of running his hand up the wall and he's looking. I guess you look back at the whole thing is he doesn't look.
Just look
Colin?
back and forward.
Colin.
Colin, you right?
This,
What Colin. I go over and put my hand on his shoulder.
ah,
On his shoulder.
this thing here, it's a part of it. It caused it, or it's a part of it. It's this. I've seen this before in films and sets, but this is real. This is
What are you talking about?
this did this.
What? What? What did what? What?
Is the smudge really obvious?
You can try and look at it as well if you want.
Well,
and
I'm
if
stood there, so I'm trying. I'll look and.
I'm trying to
'cause
figure out
I'm
what it is
literally
he's
just-
talking to.
as I'm saying this, I'm tracing it with my finger. I'm
Okay, so
Okay.
I have a look down with a
tracing
4.
lines and
On 4.
Yeah, I mean you can see Eddie. You just see Colin just waving his arms in the air. He's not doing anything. Carrie, you can see a kind of pattern to it, but you're not making any sense of it at all.
I sort of say, Colin, you're not making any sense, and I almost like sort of try and turn him away from it. Does he look like he's a little bit sort of fixated on it? So I try to sort of turn him away. So I sort of grab him and sort of say, Colin, I turn you around. Look at me.
yeah.
Right, you're making no sense. What is it you see? I don't see anything.
I offer him my hip flask.
I take a swig and then I'll probably turn around towards and see if I can go out on the patio for some air.
Yeah, so you go out, you open the door, and you walk out and get some air onto the balcony, and you look out and just breathe in the fresh air and try and collect yourself.
I look at the others and go, wow, he's freaking out. And I just,
I'm trying to look at what he is drawing, maybe if I recognize it of a movie I was in.
Yeah, go for it. So you're trying to use your professional knowledge. So yeah, go for it. Do 2 roles. You got your human role and your professional role.
ooh.
Okay.
We like 60s.
Yeah.
Is this the time?
Why didn't I roll this good when I was playing D&D this
Why does Roll20 not do this on D&D?
So you're
The D6 is less swingy, that's all.
you begin to try rack your brains, and you're looking at the figure, and you walk up to it, and you put your finger where Colin was indicating, and you try and draw the same pattern that Colin was, and you don't get it right at first, and you're just like, nah, it's not. And then as your hand goes round in a particular formation around, it suddenly clicks in your head that for all that you've seen and read scripts, you've seen things, scripts about Wiccans and you've seen things about the sort of stuff they do, but the reality of it all, and you spend a bit of time looking at this, and it just begins to slowly dawn upon you that in the way Becca suddenly appears to you in your head, you're just minded. You remember the time where you were sitting on top of a car, and it's almost like she's in front of you. You reach out to grab her. You were sitting drinking, the sun was setting over the film set, the lot that you were working on, and you were sitting on top of a car looking down, and there was 6 or 7 of you, and you just reach out to grab her. She says, "Connor," and you hear her voice, and you turn round and look at her, and you begin to walk forward and out of the patio, onto the patio, as you just can't comprehend at this point. You walk a little bit forward. Colin, you see Connor just walking out behind you, and he continues to walk. And he continues to, and he doesn't stop. And he's walking right up to where you are, right next to you. And he slams in to the side of the balcony. And he looks like he's about to fall over.
Nice playing with you, Scoot.
What? He's right next to Colin. And
yeah. I mean, you could be there as well.
Do we see this?
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, you see it. Yep.
Oh, I'm going to shout, Colin! And
It's Connor who's doing it.
Yeah.
No, but
we're trying to get Colin to stop you from doing it.
From falling over the edge.
Uh-oh. I think Colin's still dazed. Shit.
Mike, mute.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just 2 hands on the railing, looking over and down and just breathing, just trying to get this thing out of my head. And
Okay, so one of us has to run.
I'll make a run for it and try and grab a hold of Connor before he throws himself over the wall.
Yeah.
I'm assuming to his impending doom. Not just a 3-foot wall and he's going to land on the other side.
With a bit of a broken nose
Oh,
or
you're-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on.
I want to scratch that pretty face of his.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Make a roll as you make around. Is there any professional athleticism in your career?
Absolutely none whatsoever.
Do you wish to-
are you musically athletic?
Um,
So make a roll.
My character has martial arts training.
Make a roll. Yeah.
Oh.
So you get over and you grab him by his belt buckles. As you can see, he's just about to tip himself over, and you haul him back.
Oh, what the hell are you doing, man? What's going on?
Yeah, Connor, you come back too.
What? How
What the
did
fuck, man?
how did I get here?
You okay? What?
I was just checking out that smudge on the wall. Found I recognized it from one of the movies I was in, and now I'm here. What?
I offer him the hip flask. It's like you were going to just walk over the edge or something.
What? Maybe. Wait. So you saw me just wanting to jump over the edge.
I don't even think it was that. You were just going to walk. If that wall wasn't there, you'd have just stepped right out.
I don't remember doing that. Maybe that maybe that's what happened to. Maybe that's what happened to her.
What did you see?
Something came over her and she just went for it.
What about you? I'm looking at Colin.
Yeah, you okay?
You guys want to step away from the rail? Like this side of it.
Colin, did you ever make something for a comedic horror movie?
I've done.
With I don't know, like demons and stuff.
I've worked on all sorts of projects, and some have been like horror styles. And I've seen things.
Because
like,
I recognize that mark.
Yeah, I've seen things. I've made things like that for set dressings and wall arts on sets, but that's.
Well,
Those were just
what are you talking
made up
about?
things. That's real. That's whatever that mark is. That's not.
What are you talking about?
well, I walk back in and I try to see if I can clean that smudge a little bit to see if the mark is behind it. The one that I was trying to trace.
Yeah, you get like about your t-shirt or whatever, and you rub it there, and then it just black soot just comes off, and the wall looks even more smudgy, and just doesn't really help and doesn't really work.
There's some kind of design there, and it sounds fucking stupid, but you've seen in those horror films and weird stuff, they've got like arcane designs and runes and stuff like that they use for magic and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I
Bullshit, though, right?
I go into the house and look around for a piece of paper and pen and come back out and give it to them and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Draw it.
Can I still trace this thing or something similar like it?
Give it a shot. You're a draftsman, so
Yeah.
give 2 die. You've got your professional and your human die there, but you can draw, but you can do it well, especially when you're doing.
Technical drawings.
Yeah, it's a good. It's you
Nice
try
one.
your best to draw it from your memory, but every time you go to draw it, you're not really. You look at it and you go, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. But you don't want to. Like you draw it and then it's almost like that. Yeah, it almost is. But you do draw it, and you draw a lightning of it as best as you can remember.
Yeah.
But it's just not. It's
a
like
couple
a
of
dream.
tries, and you see a couple of things that look very similar but slightly different each.
Mm.
It's like that. It's not that. It's close, but not.
I'm looking at him drawing it. Maybe if I could help him.
But the things I've done before were just drawings.
Yeah. So I mean, you can
Just pencil and paper, nothing. That's.
It's
Whatever
made up
that
shit, though,
is.
right? What?
No, whatever that
should
is,
be.
is real. It's
wonder
not
if you
just
want
a
to roll
drawing.
for if you grab some paper as well and go, no, give me a shot, and then it's not like that. It's like this.
2 or 1?
I hope
think
you
there's
don't
one-
manage it. We're all going to be throwing ourselves off.
Yeah.
Sounds like it real quick.
Yeah. You give it a shot, but it doesn't even look close to. It's the right sort of shape and your arm, but you got the scales off, and when you compare it to the one that Colin's done, you're just like, no, that's not. And you quickly mount up sheets of paper, and you've got 6, 7, 8, and the two of you just kind of drawing this. No, that's not any. This is until you stop, you kind of keep drawing these things, and you.
Yeah, I just don't. No,
Yeah.
whatever that is, it's close.
Yeah. It was. Oh, why was I only an extra in that movie?
But whatever this thing is in there, this is not just a drawing. This is something more. And I'm not one for all this hocus pocus stuff, but that, as I'm pointing it towards the smudge, has something to do with that. Pointing at the scorch mark.
Yeah.
You hear
That's
outside. You hear a loud traffic noise as multiple horns suddenly beep with a very loud, and you there's a whole bunch of continued dang 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 dang, like sort of hooting and happening outside.
Like a car alarm, or is it?
No, it's just people slamming their horn.
I think
Can
for
I-
that, Dee Dee will go out and have a look because she's just been like trying not to look at the scorch marks.
Yeah.
Looking just around the flat, so she will take this opportunity to go outside into the patio.
Yeah, and you look out and you see somebody's pulled out of one of the driveway behind your house, behind the block of flats that you're in that takes it into the parking round the back, and somebody's pulled out into traffic, and that's backed up all the other traffic, and there's just a whole bunch of people are just like, and then they're all getting really agitated, and this car can't get out because the traffic on the other side, so it's all snacked up.
What just happened outside?
Just some people trying to pull out in front of people. You know, too much of a rush. They're from the car park just round the back of here, actually.
Not
Wasn't her car, was
Becca's
it?
car, is it?
But we got the keys.
We have a set of keys.
True.
It was a blue station wagon. It wasn't Becca's car.
Okay. No, it wasn't Becca's car. It was just some blue station wagon. I think they're just trying to rush off somewhere. It's very strange at this time of night, though.
Anyway, is there anything else around here worth looking at, or are we done here? Because this place is just giving me the creeps.
Maybe you need to go get some sleep.
Did we look
Talking
anywhere?
all this voodoo.
Like I
stuff.
say, I'm gonna check her bedroom and do. We need to. Eddie, were you gonna go and check her car while I check her bedroom and
Maybe Colin should get some.
closet? Search the closet. It's always a good place to hide things. Shoe boxes, coats, handbags.
All of which you find.
I'll go out to the car then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna search her bedroom.
I'll go with Eddie. Check the car.
I wanna look around the living room to find a gas can. I smelled gas, gasoline, but
Yeah. Okay. So
where did it come from?
everybody's in the house. Give me just a single investigation roll, just as you're searching around and peeling stuff over and
Oh,
seeing what you
2.
find. Yeah, you find the bedroom closet. It's got all the things in, like handbags and boxes, the shoe boxes with pictures and such in them, and just the normal sort of stuff that you'd expect. Some books, work related, yeah, just suits and dresses and normal stuff there. So, you don't find anything else of interest in the house. As you're looking through it, Connor, you don't find a gas can that you're looking for.
Okay.
Down at the car, you guys that are going down to the car, you walk out the back door into the parking lot, and you press the button, beep beep, and you see the car. Eddie, it's not the car that you remember. It's different car.
Much swankier.
Yeah, yep. And you go over to the car. And you see. Well, I take it you're having a good rake around in it, right? You open the glove box, you look back at the seats and stuff. Yeah.
Open the
Trunk.
Excuse me. In the glove box, you find a map book. It's a Thomas Guide, which is a map book.
Okay. Is it of the area? Or else?
Ish. Yeah, as you turn the cabin light on and you look at it, it's of a place known as the Inland Empire, which is about, yeah, you'd probably give it a couple hours drive, maybe 4 hours in bad traffic. Yeah, and then who else is there? Colin?
Yep.
Yeah, you're looking around and you find a camera, but it's not a digital camera; it's a film camera, and it looks expensive. It looks like the kind of thing you would have liked to have had when you were a lad. None of this fancy digital nonsense. It's proper photography.
Good piece. Eddie, you knew her well. She into photography?
That is a good question. Now that I remember.
You're cutting off a bit there, Mark.
Probably need to slip it further forward. Now that I knew of, I guess. Yep.
Up.
Still cutting out.
No.
Welcome to my ASMR.
I mean, yeah, maybe she took it up after she left.
This is quite a bit of kit. This is not a...
Film? Who uses film nowadays?
Colin whispers under his breath anybody would taste. Oh. There may be something worthwhile on there.
You know how to develop those old-time things?
Yeah, I guess the three of you have come down at this point, and you're standing outside the car looking in.
I'm sure there's some old... I think there's a couple of old shops that still allow you to do this. Sure, there's a place around LA we can get this developed.
There's a place in LA for everything, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we know somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
A photographer.
yeah, maybe you do. Well, I was an extra in my college years in a period piece where they used this kind of camera.
Yeah, why not? Why not say that at one of the local university buildings they still teach film development, because they need to learn that for movies. It's a cultural thing. If you ever go into do an old movie and you have to do a darkroom scene, so they actually have a working darkroom, which is a holdover from the media studies years, all those decades ago when they still had to develop film before digital, and they still have it there, and students use it. And perhaps you were both given a chance to train, but it does actually work. It has the baths and the whole thing. So yeah, you could develop those photos. In fact, you could probably look through your old notes and find out how to do it. You're probably yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well, maybe Connor could just pay somebody to do it.
That would be a thing.
Depends what's on it.
Probably could. I mean, I'm a big movie star. Why not?
Yeah.
And yeah, I could ask an old teacher of mine. I don't know if he's still working, but I did have some classes with old cameras for whenever you need to edit something. But I think he would be asleep at this time. So
Yeah, it's past midnight at this point.
Or we can hit
yeah,
him up.
it is. It is. It's 12:10 here.
Yeah,
Actually, do you want to take a quick break?
yeah, we definitely should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's the first part of this. We will come back after the break and we will continue. I am expecting this adventure to be a two-parter, so that'll probably mean an Infinite Monkey Tales 4. But we have got this week and next week's schedule. Don't go anywhere. Please do come back after you've got your snacks and your drinks and you've dealt with your animals and beasts in the house, and we will return with the next part. We do go on till around about midnight, so we should be back in 10 minutes, and then we'll keep going to round about the turn into the next day for us in the UK. So, yep, back in 10. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Haven't left.
We're back.
V8 Uber early.
We are all back, and we have
Yeah.
volumes.
It's only 0022 on my end.
Getting later. So, you find yourself in the back of this car, in Becca's apartment, and you've pulled two things out which are of note, particularly the camera and the map book. And it's late, and so what are you guys doing? You want to head back to the hotel?
Yeah, I don't think there's much more we can probably accomplish without
Yeah.
speaking to other people or going places which needs to be daytime.
Yeah.
Is there
Let's go back. This place is tapped.
a sat nav in her car?
Yeah, there's a sat nav in her car.
Or if its last location is the same as the one that's showing on her phone? The GPS thing. Something else in.
Yeah. So you're having a think about location information.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
See. Yeah. So you do you turn the car over? Do you put the keys in the ignition to get the power to it?
If I'm assuming that'll switch on the sat nav.
Yeah. And you switch on, the dashboard comes on, the screen comes on, and you fiddle around with the buttons. Give me just a normal roll as you press the infernal Android operating system that's baked into all these cars.
I know Android.
So yeah,
Keep your
you
iPhoney thing.
Welcome to Skynet.
you work your way through.
I can't afford an
and,
iPhone. I have to use Android. That's
You see that there's a sort of a waypoint somewhere in Beverly Hills, but it's just like to a general area. It doesn't, you're trying to look to see what
Right,
it is,
yes.
but it's a turn off
particular
of,
address.
it's a turn off of an intersection. She's obviously just trying to she's just so you look at that, but somewhere in Beverly Hills,
It wouldn't correspond to the address of one Brian. Name was area of Beverly Hills.
yeah, it looks like it's in the general the 5, I think. Yeah, you'd sort of be able to pull that together.
And yeah, that's all right. I remember how sat-navs work.
Without being his PA, how long has she actually worked with him for?
About 9 months.
So it's probably safe to know that she would know where he lived anyway at some point, or is there an office where they worked?
Yeah, she would know the house. Yep.
So
But then again, there's not necessarily a date on this thing, is there?
No, nothing like that. It just.
I mean, it could just be that when she went for the bloody interview that she had to put it in. I mean, we're not going to be able to gain anything from his property because
there isn't a Home Depot location on there.
Home Depot, no, but there are lots of them. It's a very large chain. I guess even B&Q doesn't have as many stores in the UK as Home Depot have in America. So yeah, similarly
There
large.
are none in the Netherlands.
Orange and white signs. Yeah.
well, B&Q or Home Depot.
Neither.
There's no shop called Home Depot in the Netherlands, so
No. But there's equivalent, I guess, in all. But this particular one, it's a large chain of home improvement shops. For those that don't know the name.
Yeah, I think we're kind of running on empty at the moment. Probably.
It's been
What's the plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, well, you get back to the hotel, I guess, and you sit and maybe have a nightcap around in the bar or one of your rooms.
Yeah, telling each of us stories about.
So what are you gonna plan, or are you gonna meet in the morning? Easy done. You can have a sleep. You can all try and get some rest. It doesn't come easy for those of you who have taken a point of insanity. I think you're all a little bit. When you begin to close your eyes, you can see some of the things, and it's a bit of a struggle to get to sleep, but you do manage and wake up in the morning somewhat refreshed, get a shower, get your breakfast in your own way, and then you meet back up. Had you arranged to meet particularly early, or had you just...
Arrange for breakfast, yeah.
Yeah.
Breakfast in the hotel.
I don't know if I needed to put in a insanity check for that walk-off.
Ooh.
Because I didn't put in a mark.
Yeah, that would have been a mark at that point. With a failed insanity check. Yep.
Oh.
You need to make a insight check. See whether you
That way we need to get a 1.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, go and give me thanks, some old pirate. Yeah, roll a d6 with your previous to see if you can shake it off. It's just, let's say you're lying asleep and you get a kind of a dream comes back to you as you're lying there and you're thinking about it, and you can make the roll for
half remembered.
Yeah.
Okay. Dice gods be with me.
Were you in one, were you?
1, 2, 3. I'm at 3 inside.
You were at 2 though, weren't you?
Yeah, he's now at 3.
But I asked you for that if I need to check one. And you said yes, so I checked one, and then
Checked
I was
it.
at 3.
Oh.
But if
if you'd have rolled a 2, yeah, no, you'd have passed it.
You passed it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only if you roll above.
Oh, you're still on 2.
You're still on 2.
Okay.
Because you
I'm
manage.
set.
Yeah, apologies for not being as clear on this. Despite its simplicity, it still offers some opportunity for double thinking. So
It's our descent into madness. That's what it is.
It's not supposed to bring the keeper with you.
But I want to.
So, yeah, you're lying in bed, you're tossing and turning, you're imagining this, and you have repeated dreams of falling, but you wake up in the morning and you're all back. So you've had your breakfast, you're all ready to go. You meet in the lobby, and you're ready to go to the next part. Where are you heading to?
I think the house is definitely something we need to look at.
He's not there though.
Camera.
And if we
No, he's not. I was thinking of.
Going to that house without him was enough to freak him out.
I think
to get the-
we wanted to. Yeah.
We need to take the film to be developed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And maybe wanted it to go to Ralph Aries' office.
Yeah, I also want to go to the police station, which was doing the investigation, to find out whether they took her computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so who's doing what? Are you splitting the party? Are you keeping together, doing them sequentially, or what's your deal?
Hulu, of course we're splitting the party.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Okay. So
Split up, gang.
Harry,
Who's taking the big dog?
Otis, please.
Kai's going to the police, okay.
Who
who's
else
got-
is doing something?
Yeah, who's getting the photos developed?
I'll
Eddie?
go with the photos. I'll go with Eddie.
Colin and Eddie.
Yeah, I wanted to check out Aries Entertainment.
Dee, are you going as well?
I'll go with Carrie, because if we're going to the police, also being an actor, I might be able to try and blag it a bit more if we need to.
Okay. All right then. So Connor, you're
Just wanted to
heading
point
off.
out, is it Colin and Eddie? Doesn't that sound like a kids program? Is there a kids program, Colin and Eddie?
Don't know. Don't
Colin and Eddie go mad together.
I was just writing thinking Colin and Eddie. It's got a really good ring to it.
So
I feel a bit
Is it one
bad
of those
'cause that means
Two
that-
from Britain's Got Talent called Eddie, one of those hosts.
I don't know. Don't watch it.
right,
no, I don't
So-
think so.
Connor,
Sorry.
you head off.
I feel bad because Connor's on his own.
Yeah, he's gonna just go out to check out the
What?
the talent.
Aries Entertainment.
Aries
As he wanders
Entertainment.
off, I do shout, Colin, change your shirt. You don't want to wear a red one.
Colin or Connor.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, is it one of these? Should we? Because we're going to drop off a film to be developed, right?
Yeah.
We could go with Connor too. If
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants us to go, unless he wants to go on his own. If you want to go on your own, that's perfectly fine.
Well, after everything that happened yesterday, I feel safer if you guys could join me.
Okay. So we'll drop the film off and then we will go off to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
on the town.
So you go back to an educational establishment that you know.
Shit, we needed Connor for that.
Give me your 2d6, your professional and your student background should be sufficient here to get you to the right place, and we'll see what happens if you're successful. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Connor. So you know where to go. It still takes a while. The professor that you're looking for is currently teaching, so you have to wait for the 2-hour block to finish. You maybe go and sit in his class and listen. And he recognises you when you walk in, and he kind of smiles as you go in. But he carries on talking about the history of film and black and white and how it developed, and whatever. And at the end of it, you walk down and there's a queue of students waiting, talking to him, and eventually after about 2.5 hours, you get to speak with him.
Maybe some students recognize me from my movies.
Oh, he's going to be signing autographs, isn't he? Oh,
Let me roll a
He's
d6 against you for that one.
So
Yeah, you fail. You have to roll a 6 here, or that doesn't happen.
I think what this is basically
Well,
is
we didn't
this
just
is
a
a room
human
full of film
research.
students.
You can
if
use
you
your.
don't roll
you
a six,
can roll
if you
two.
don't roll a 6, you walk in with a pen ready to sign them, and everybody ignores you.
It's a room full of film
Connor's very
students.
down to
They're
earth.
just not interested in your kind of film. They're far too
Oh,
Oh, that's sick!
right.
Yeah.
Reroll.
Gods are with me.
We need a reroll.
It was a tie. You have to re-roll.
It's a reroll for a tie. A 2 that
Oh
time.
my god.
Oh,
What?
what?
Another one. Third time lucky.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
He's signing autographs.
There you go. So a couple of students come up and they recognise you and they say, "Oh, you were in that movie," and yeah. So they get you to sign,
Hey,
and
you're not intellectual enough to be in this class.
During that movie, it was so derivative.
It was just a part I played. I'm actually pretty smart. I have brain.
So yeah, the professor sees you and he greets you and he says he's quite an old guy. He's got white hair coming out like this, and I used to work for the I used to work for the British Broadcasting Association, don't you know?
Wait, weren't you in Doctor Who?
That's right. Fantastic. Now, how can I
All
how can I
British
help
actors
you,
are in
Connor?
Doctor Who.
How can I
Exactly.
help you? And I take it you tell him.
Well, we found this old film camera, and well, we don't have the materials to make the film into a picture, of course. So we need to develop the film. Could you help us with
And
that?
you used to laugh at me when I said you had to go into the dark room and learn how to develop films. Aye, how it is.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go. The dark room is just as it was when you were last there, and I would love to see
were
if
the
you have
last person to
retained.
use it.
I would love to
I
see
know
it.
the irony is not lost on me. I know.
Let's go.
Okay.
And he sort of puts his hand up, and you walk up the stairs to the doors at the back of the hall, the tiered seating, and you head off around the corridors to quite a way around the campus, and you find yourself in the dark room. It's got a revolving door at the front of it, so it doesn't let in. You can only walk in one at a time, and you go in, the red light's on, the bath's there, he gets the chemicals out, he pours them in. Oh, he doesn't do that, he tells you to do it. Give me a roll with your, give me a 2d6, because you've got the background there. Yeah, so you kind of
Average.
pump it. Yeah, Eddie, you're watching, call it. Yeah, Eddie and Colin, you're kind of you can go in as well. There's plenty of room in there. It was a teaching space rather than a working dark room, and soon you have the pegs, the string where they're drying above the baths, and you've got the pegs on the photographs, the photographic paper. One of them didn't go so well. You have to put it through again, but you get it. And pretty soon you have a line of 12 pictures beginning to make themselves apparent in the red light. And you were chatting away. The professor's asking how you doing. He says he saw you in a film, and he inquires about Eddie and what does he know? Is this the same? Did you go to the same place, or is this a different?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
yeah.
yeah. So he asks about you, and he asks about Colin. He's just a general chatting away while you're doing that. But you get 12. You get 12 images, and they develop in front of you. And this whole process takes a bit of time. So. There's a good amount of time passed while you've been waiting, watching this and doing this.
Really cool montage going on.
And it's
Montage.
yeah, and so you get these, and you take down each of the images, you take them outside, and you look at them in the light of day in one of the teaching rooms. What you see on the 12 pictures, there's a shot of a blue Ford F-150.
Station wagon.
I don't know
Pickup
what
truck.
a pickup
F-150
truck.
is a pickup truck.
There
yeah,
you
I
go.
think. Yeah.
Thank you. And it's at Home Depot.
Oh.
The time.
This. I'm only going on the colour. Was it a Ford F-150 that was causing the traffic jam outside?
It just said station wagon, I think.
No,
No, I
it's
was
a
just
station wagon.
checking.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you didn't know what an F-150
Yeah.
was. I was just checking.
Could be a connection. So
You're very wise. Now that it's kind of looks like it's late in the afternoon, and you see a picture of somebody who looks unmistakably like Brian Tobler, the person that you've done a lot of research on already. And he seems to be picking someone up, a day labourer. Now,
Mexican?
exactly. It's well known that if you want labour in these places, you can go to the Home Depot, the car park next to it, or wherever nearby, and there will be often illegal immigrants there available, and you just hand over some money. You tell them what job you want done, you tell them how much money you're going to pay them, and then you get their labour for the day. You could get a gang of workers that way if you wanted to, and you pay them at the end of the day, and so yeah, that's a good way to get cheap labour with the illegal immigrants from other parts of the land. Then the next shot that you see is the same truck, and there's a trail of subsequent photographs, as if it's a journey that's been taken on these photographs. It seems to be.
She had some suspicions about this guy if she was taking these kind of photographs. Right?
And then there's another photo. The next photograph, the last photos, the last 2 or 3 photos, are of a house that looks very remote. And it's first thing in the morning, and it's a picture of Brian Tobler getting back into his Ford F-150 alone and driving off. And
Is
the
it
next,
the same house from the other pictures?
hold that thought. I will answer that question. The final picture then indicate that Becca followed back into Beverly Hills. Yes, it is the same photograph of the photograph. It's the same house. I know I think I might have possibly said that it was a brushed seal and then I showed a different picture.
Yeah.
I think that was my fault, but this picture that you're seeing now suggests that there's another property.
This isn't Groucho's old house.
This isn't Groucho's old house. This is somewhere else. This is way down in
You say, yeah, this so right because you said
a
this
road
is
trip.
remote. Muted.
The first picture you showed, like the picture of the picture. Is this
Yeah.
the house that
Yes.
we're now seeing? And the glass Groucho marks was Brian's house.
His yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think I confused slightly there, but that's it rectified now. You've got 2 different properties at play now.
The other one looks
So
deserty and draw.
Is this one in the hills?
That would be a fair assumption. It looks very remote, that you can tell from the morning shots. There's
Okay. So the locations we found on the GPS though they lead to Brian's house.
not this.
Making
not
up
this
Mark.
place.
Was it? Yeah. That's what I should do. Okay.
Okay,
We
the
don't
reference
really know.
The reference in the texts, the picture from her phone, and the pictures from her camera all appear to be referencing the same house in the hills that's
Yeah.
different from his actual house.
Yeah.
It like deserty sort of bush
Yeah.
around the edge of it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
quite, so it's
Trees
almost like
Yeah.
a remote house, and it's not
Oh, yeah.
like in the middle of a okay, so it's a remote sort of all right.
Is there anything? I mean, let's assume we took the map book out of the glove box with us.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of flicking through. I mean, I guess Eddie would know some of the more remote areas out. Actually, no, it covers quite a big area, doesn't it? This map book.
Mm.
Flicking through it, there's nothing obvious in there that would indicate the location of this
There's no
Becca's
marks on any of the
property.
pages.
circles drawn on it in pen or anything.
You
Big
flick,
X.
you flick through it, and there's nothing like that on the map book.
I mean, he's a rich guy, right? Why are we suspicious of him having 2 properties? Apart from the fact that clearly Becca was suspicious about something.
He is suspicious.
Yeah, but she mentioned this to him as in this was something to be concerned about.
Yeah, and he kind of tried to brush it off, and
So she threatened the police.
then she's dead.
So there's something funny about this house.
So we need to follow Brian.
We need to find where this house is. Brian's out in New York. But I think we need to figure out where this house in the hills is.
I'm not there. Shut
No,
up.
but when we could be on the phone, we've got mobile
Yeah.
phones. We can...
Yep. That's cool. Yeah, you're chatting on the phone. You got it on speaker.
In the meantime,
Well, we'll just take the pictures with us, and we'll check out Mr. Aries. See what he knows.
we thank the professor profusely for his help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's nice
and he-
catching up with you.
Yeah, he says you'll be getting a alumnus magazine through your letterbox very soon, Connor. Consider filling out the back page. As he,
Oh, okay, I'll look at it.
I thought he was going to say, we'll be sending you a bill.
yeah. So yeah, your institution's alumnus magazine will, you know fine well, because you never read it. You just chuck it out. But there's always a thing about giving endowment and donations and all that kind of stuff. So that's what he was. That's what he was.
So you are getting a bill, effectively.
Yeah. He's fishing. He's canny as this old professor. Right. So meanwhile, back at the police station, you found your way down to the sheriff's office of the place that you are in. And you walk into the police station, the sheriff's office, and you arrive at the desk, and the desk clerk there asks you what you're inquiring about.
We have the name of the inspector or whoever investigated it. So what?
You
That's
said he had
for-
a few different names on it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just a whole different. There was a whole bunch.
We're
of different
looking
names.
for the. Would it be possible to speak to the police? Sergeant Smith, Jones, and Macaulay that were investigating the death of Becca
Kingsley.
Kingsley.
And the clerk, could you roll a interpersonally types? You got any particular? Yeah, you've got skills in talking to people. I'm going to say that.
I'm amazing because, I'm
Yeah.
really good with dogs.
Yeah, you talk to the owners more importantly. You're growing your
Yeah.
business. You're growing your business. You're good at networking. And then
Yeah, with a 3.
D. So you can roll 2 and D as well with your skills of being a.
Oh, another 3.
Okay.
And just have images of Carrie interviewing the police dogs right now.
If they're
It's the owners
not
that
available,
matter.
Can I speak to the dogs?
Yeah.
There might be a Mexican there as well.
Yeah.
The,
The dog whisperer.
Please roll better, Dee. Please roll better.
Just a D6.
you can do 2d6 because you can rely on your professional expertise as an actress to kind of gild the lily a bit.
That one.
Just
There you go.
become the character.
So yeah, you go in, and what do you say to them, Dee? That what kind of things are you asking them for? Right, this clerk.
Essentially, I'll just go up and say, just any information that we have about this case. I'll be just like rhyming it off. It's Becca Kingsley. It was. I can't remember
Which
what name she
date?
just used for the officers, but it was after this on this date. He gave us
you
this
list off-
information.
Yeah.
He gave us this information, but we seem to have been missing this information, and literally just go around listing what we need, because then the main one is the laptop.
Okay, and the clerk's like typing into the computer as you do that, and she looks and says, yes, and I think as a matter of public record, a bout of information comes up, and she says, oh yes, that was David Lee. He was the coroner. He appears on this. The detectives, but we can get detectives for you. That's not a problem. If you just want to take a seat, and we'll get somebody out to talk to you.
Thank you.
David Lee. Google him.
Yeah. You sit down. You put on the phone, and he is at the coroner's office. The Los Angeles County Department of Coroner, 1104 North Mission Road, Los Angeles. So it's there. It's a matter of public record. So you find that. So you take your seat and you watch as the hubbub of the sheriff's office goes about its business. People coming and going, sometimes noise outside and sometimes not. We'll come back to you in the police station.
Okay.
Back on the road with Connor, Colin and Eddie. What are you doing now?
We're heading to the offices of Aries Entertainment, I think.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Yeah, so at this point it is it's pretty late. You've definitely burned a good portion of the certainly half a day, and you travel off to find Rafe Aries' place in Hart Street in the Warehouse District. So let me just give you all a look-ski. So this is where you're directed to, off the Hollywood Freeway, and it's quite a ways away. So you travel through the traffic. It takes you. I'll not get you to do a driving check,
Well, it goes so well.
but traffic is pretty bad at this time, and it takes you the better part of a couple hours to negotiate your way through the freeway and down through the madness that is traffic. And you find yourself in front of. You've driven through a warehouse district. There's a lot of low-slung buildings that are dedicated to all manner of different enterprise. But this place stands out a little bit because it's a bit taller than the rest of the buildings that are there. And you pitch up in front of this place, and it looks pretty good. It looks like you could find it on Google Street Map if you happen to look for it. And it would look something like this. There's a few tall buildings at the back of the lot, and that's where you are now. I need to make sure that you guys, there we go, are seeing this at home as well. I'll just zoom out a bit. And yeah, so you drive in, you park up in the visitors' parking spaces, and you make your way to the front door at the back of the lot with this 3-story building, and it's marked with a big sign above it that says, "This is Aries Entertainment." And so yeah, that's you get your way in.
We should have made an appointment.
And you go up to the 3rd floor, and it's a big, airy space, but it's quite. The obvious thing is the stunning blonde receptionist that meets you, and she asks, and she says, "Yeah, please sit down. I'll dial through and see if he'll see you."
Does she recognise Connor? Of interest? Is he big enough a name? He's a star on the up and up, and we might be able to leverage that to kind of get him to.
Sure. And you hear, and she asks for your name. Who should I say wants to see Mr. Aries?
It's Hunt. Connor Hunt. You might know me.
And she's probably heard that line at least 3 times today.
It's kind of a big deal around here.
Yeah, and she looks at you, Eddie, and then looks at Colin, then looks back at Eddie, and then looks down at the computer and types, and then she picks up the phone and says, "This," and repeats the name, and yeah. So she says, "Well, please, he's with somebody just now, but he's always happy to see new talent. So if you would like to take a seat, and he'll be with you in about 15 minutes."
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not new talent, but thank you.
Yeah. Colin and Eddie are more character actors.
Shit.
Faces for radio.
Perfect faces for the radio.
You stand. You don't take a seat because you know that it's never good to have somebody walk in on you when you're sitting down. That doesn't present the LA way. So you take the stand and you look around.
Okay.
Colin sits down.
Yeah, Colin sits down.
Colin, stand up. You don't want to see these people when you're sitting down. Come on.
Stands up.
Yeah.
Stands awkwardly, just looking at a painting or something. Just.
I know it's annoying, but this is what they want to see.
Yeah. And actually, before Colin even manages to get out of his chair, the door opens, and a guy with like long hair and a ponytail walks out, and you hear a voice saying, "What? We'll make sure it happens next week. Yes, we'll sort it out." And you see the guy just going, yeah, and he just walks down past you. And the receptionist looks up and says, as in passing, "Do you want to make another appointment before you?" And he's just like, "Whatever," and he just storms out. And then you see Rafe Aries as he walks out of his rather plush-looking office. And this is what he looks like as he walks out to meet you.
That's kind of terrifying. Because he looks a lot
He looks
like.
just like Eddie.
And that is where we'll leave it for this evening.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Dum dum dum.
I'm going to make an insight check.
Your evil twin.
He
Wow.
looks slightly older.
Yeah.
This is one of those daytime TV shows, isn't it?
You've been making characters on the same art breeder page.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Shocker.
God.
Oh,
I have a
no.
feeling this is not going to be a two-parter, by the way.
That's got to give him an insight.
We'll save it for the next game. I'll roll insight immediately.
Yeah, there we go.
Straight on the arcade, just get one sanity gone.
Yeah. Welcome to the game, and he's gone.
There we go.
Yeah,
It would
and
always end up
I'll
like
perhaps create a new character.
You're getting a second character ready. People say on
Excellent.
Cthulhu to have a backup character, don't they?
My God, that was cool.
Well, if you have to believe my D&D group, I have a whole file cabinet full of characters to play. So
Oh gosh.
I'm just gonna.
yeah, I love creating characters. So
Oh.
Well, that was fun, Groith.
yes,
thank you very
much for that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the next session for this is next Friday.
I believe it is.
Indeed.
It definitely
it is. It is
Yeah.
the same picture, only older, a little bit more grayish.
Daddy.
Yeah,
So yes,
that's it.
so we will be back.
Daddy wasn't there.
Well, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
So
There we
we're
go.
back tomorrow evening playing Mutants and Mastermind,
Save Danny.
saving Danny from the terrors that is. Oh, I've forgotten the name of the organisation.
Kinetics.
Six.
Kinetics. That's it.
Hopefully.
So we'll be doing. Yes, we will. What could possibly go wrong if we're involved in a rescue mission?
No matter what role-playing game you play, never say what could go wrong. Those are the famous last words.
Roll a one.
Test it.
Hey, Rolls.
Hey.
Hey, roll.
So yeah, so that's going to be tomorrow. And then obviously next Friday we're back for the second part of this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not going to be the last part because unfortunately, when me and Tony are involved in Cthulhu games,
It might be Eddie's last part.
I mean, it's like what you guys don't see in the background is the list of things that we're writing in the chat here of things that we haven't done or we want to do. So
Yeah, but bear in mind, there was that one game where we all died spectacularly.
yes, well, it was more of a suicide thing going on there where you jumped into a
Jumped
completely
into the portal.
unknown vortex.
A portal, and we all jumped in and died.
Yes, it was like, there's a strange portal there. Let's see what it does. Let's jump in it. Yeah, you're dead.
I mean, to be fair, it's every time we've played Cthulhu Dark as well, I think. There's never been a survivor.
Well, maybe
There you
now
have
it
it.
won't happen because it's my first time.
No, it would.
I might be smarter than that.
No, you
No, it's
just go,
Cthulhu
"Oh."
Dark.
Somebody needs to reread the rules.
Yes.
Brian French
You need to go and watch some Cthulhu stuff.
No, that's we'll get. Don't you worry. And remember, everybody in Cthulhu Dark can roll against anybody at any point for any reason.
Yeah, you can roll against each other.
If you think it's fun that somebody fails something, then you can roll against.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Can't do it for investigation.
The thing is, I'm
unfortunately.
fairly sure we've all picked up a couple of insanity points tonight, haven't we?
I'm on 3.
I'm on 3.
Oh yeah,
I'm on 3.
Potentially 4.
I believe I was also on 3. No, I was on 2.
You're on 2.
Yeah, I'm still 2. So I might have had the least amount of points in that.
So
You've had the least amount of insight.
Yeah.
The blessing
cool.
and the curse. Excellent. Well,
Thank you
yeah.
for that, Croy.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
all for
so
playing.
join the Discord and join the YouTube, and don't forget to go looking for the clips of everybody being stupid, doing silly things, saying silly
Not
things.
just them.
Yeah, not just me.
yeah, we're
But
looking
mainly
for
Angie.
anniversaries.
Any amusing moments, anything that sticks out in your mind, even just moments you enjoy.
Mute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, do that. That would be so cool. And
Okay.
then tomorrow we're going to a game expo, and we are actually meeting up with the one and only and part of the gang now, Jonathan Hicks. I will be posting some pictures, and I will be buying some dice.
Oh, dun dun dun!
Mark, so
No,
stealing your wallet before you leave.
No, Mark.
Oh, well, I left it all at
Mark's
home.
like, just go over to that stall over there and buy some
Hey, you
dice.
go there. Buy your dice.
Yeah,
I'll just be here.
I'll just be here.
you look at the dice. There's some books over here I wanted to look at.
I think last time we bought loads of the Cthulhu books off the actual Cthulhu guys, didn't we? The actual guys that wrote it.
The trail. Yeah. Pelgrim.
Yeah, the Trail one. I think it's 70 quid.
Nothing. That's like 2 books.
That'll buy you one glow-in-the-dark 3D Bluetooth RGB dice, won't it? That's kind of...
When you think about that.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
that's
whilst
what
we
we'll
all...
be tomorrow. So I will send some pictures for you all of the dice.
jump into Discord and watch the progress, and we'll see what happens. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. BST, which is just not far away at all. So I hope you're looking forward to some Mutants and Masterminds. Cheers, everybody. We will be raiding somebody after we go, so please do hang around if you want to go and see some more tabletop role-playing games being played.
Well, it might not be tabletop because it's Nino, but she's doing a 24-hour stream.
Oh,
isn't
we're
she?
going to raid Ninu, who's doing 24-hour
Yeah.
stream, so we're going to jump in on that and see what madness befalls us over there. Cool, everybody, thank you so much. Cheers, cheers.
It's Nino, it could be anything.
Bye.